Hello there, Brick Fanatics. I hope that you're in the mood for appreciating some art, because today the LEGO group has unveiled a bunch of different LEGO sets that are all relaxing, majestic, sophisticated works of art in their own right. We have a LEGO art set based on cherry blossom trees with Mount Fuji in the background. We have the latest in the Gardens of the World series, which is a wonderful autumnal garden with a little house included as well. We've got this bold and innovative architecture set based on the home of art itself, the city of Paris, and we've got the 1966 Ford GT40 Mark II race car. Truly inspiring works of art, one and all, absolutely every one of these LEGO sets. Okay, maybe the last one does stretch this a little bit, but they're all nice to look at, so they're all art. Yeah, we'll call that good. Might as well talk about the GT40 first. This is a Technic set, so it is a little bit different to everything else on this list for that reason as well. It is a thing that go vroom rather than something that you would sit and contemplate, but otherwise it's a pretty cool looking car. Love that representation of a V8 engine there, always nice to have. It's got a big number 2 on the front because I want to move on and talk about the second set on this list. So the first Gardens of the World set was pretty darn good, the Zen Garden, and then we got the kind of Mediterranean Spanish garden, which was, I think, a little bit of a letdown for me personally, just because it didn't have quite as much going on in it. And then now we've got this one, the Autumn Cottage Garden, and to a certain degree it feels like a bit of a return to form for this collection, because this one feels like there's a lot more cool stuff in it than we got in the Spanish Mediterranean garden. For example, we've got a return of a water feature, which is more than just a little fountain. Here another river, similar to the Zen garden, which is nice to have. We've got a little house here, which feels similar to the tea room that we had in the first of these. And I feel like the Spanish garden didn't have like a unified physical feature. It had more of kind of the suggestion of a larger garden with some of these roofed tile bits and then the columns to it. This one's got a garden gnome, and what LEGO set wouldn't benefit from having a garden gnome? That's an absolutely brilliant inclusion. I love the willow tree here. These are all very nice. In fact, the foliage in general is pretty darn cool. I love how we've got this autumnal color scheme to it, and I think that that is really, really well done. My favorite part of this build, this might be my new favorite element ever, is we've got a little bird. Fair enough, we've had these before, but this one is printed to look like a kingfisher. This is brilliant. I love these. I want a million of them. I want to go into a LEGO store and see them in Pick-a-Brick. I want to take a shovel and just fill up my little cardboard box with just kingfishers, because this is so cool. This architecture set is really interesting. It almost feels like the art theme has been rubbing off on architecture by accident, because instead of getting something which is a little bit more, well, traditionally accurate to actual size and scale, as we usually tend to get with these things, now this architecture set almost looks like an evolution of a postcard. The buildings that we have here are kind of flat, but then also kind of sticking out a little bit. I can't really tell here whether or not all of these are to scale, because I'm not an expert in Parisian architecture, but certainly it feels like maybe some artistic liberty is being used here in the way that these are arranged. This feels very much like the kind of LEGO set that is designed to sit happily on the shelf in the gift shop for the Louvre or the Eiffel Tower, something that you pick up as a memento of your time in Paris. We've definitely seen more traditional architecture sets fill that niche in the past, but this time around it feels like any attempt at accuracy has been thrown to the side in favour of something which looks really cool, and look really cool it absolutely does. Finally, we've got this LEGO art set, which is a Japanese scene with Mount Fuji in the background. This is not based on a particular existing work of art. It is instead an original creation. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I love how they have learned a bunch of lessons from various different LEGO art sets in the past, and how these have been incorporated together. So you've got tiles stacked on top of each other at one point here, which is reminiscent of the first Van Gogh set, and then you've got flat tiles turned sideways, which looks a little bit more like some of the other sets that we've had in the past. I love how the waterfall is literally pouring out of the frame here. I love the stalks. These are really brilliant. All in all, I just think that this is a really strong piece. Now, this is one that was shown off to us at Fan Media Days this year, which means that in addition to actually being able to see it, I had the opportunity to handle it a little bit, like just a little bit, because what really are you going to do with this kind of set? There's not a huge amount to interact with. It is one that is supposed to be put on the shelf. But having seen it in person, I can say that this faux 3D, this kind of 2.5D design to this thing really works, because you can see things kind of jutting out almost like a shadow box, and that adds a huge amount of depth and texture to this that you might not otherwise get. Through the magic of movie editing, I can now take you back in time and give you my first impressions of the set as I handled it at Fan Media Days. Bear in mind, as with the USS Enterprise, I'm trying very hard in this clip not to name specific features of the set or to say anything that might be picked up in the background of somebody else's video and accidentally spoil something else as part of someone else's video where they've just got my voice in the background saying, oh, I really like this Japanese cherry blossom thing. So there's a reason there why I'm trying very hard not to name even other sets that this one reminds me of.
Look at this thing. This is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, if I can pick it up. Just detach it from the easel. This thing is, it's so nice. I love the depth to it. Can you see this? And the wonderful different layers of colour there that all add together to create that background, which is just wonderful. I can see how it's learned lessons from things that have come before, from certain other sets in this theme, and it's just really expanded on that. And somehow, like I think when a certain set, which the name of which is on the screen right now, when that first came out, I thought to myself, that is absolutely the most gorgeous thing that I've ever seen. And looking at this, I feel like this has elevated that and taken it another stage, like pushed it even further. Is this one superior to that one? I think that is a matter of personal interpretation. I like the historical aspect of the actual thing that is based on something else from the previous one, but just looking at this is just so gorgeous and will display so well with that and so many other LEGO sets that have come out in recent years. This is just wonderful. If you turn it around, you can see it's got the same kind of structure to it that a lot of these have had in the past, and I'm in awe of this thing. I think it looks so good. I love that. Look at this little detail down here and all of this over here, and then the way that it all comes together with all of the foliage on the sides and then these up the top, just wonderful. This apparently folds up and down, which is good because I guess that means oh, that's clever. That's clever. So you can hang it, or you can not. That is very good. I think this is one of my favourite things of the year that I have seen thus far. I don't know. This is coming out just at the start of next year, so this is not a this year set. This is a 2026 one, or the 1st of January. But when it does come out, it is going to be absolutely great, and I want to get my hands on it as soon as I possibly can and put it up with my other ones that are hanging. So this is just a wonderful addition to the art theme, and it's going to look so good next to all the other ones.
As with a bunch of these reveals from Fan Media Days, I will put the full presentation from the LEGO designers showing this thing off at the end of the video. Do bear in mind that the designer of the set was not present then, so there's not a huge amount of meat on these bones. You will just see that moment where the tablecloth gets pulled away and everybody goes, ooh, ah, and basically that's it, but it's still nice to see. Do make sure, by the way, that you do all of the YouTube things for this video. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure that you leave a comment down below. If you're going to be purchasing anything from the LEGO website in the near future, you can use the affiliate link in the description or the QR code that is on the screen to go straight to the LEGO website, and it helps out Brick Fanatics because we get a percentage of the sale when you purchase through those links. Do make sure that you go to brickfanatics.com for coverage of all things LEGO and sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. I now turn the time over to the LEGO designers.
We have model 31218. That is a Japanese cherry blossom landscape.
Wow.
Now, in this model, we have made an original art creation that is an homage to traditional Japanese land art, like seen in the ukiyo-e movement. We have classical aspects of this style of painting, and it's always a creative composition of the artist. So taking different landscape aspects that are filled with symbolism and combining them into a unique creation. We've developed this shadow box frame, giving it an additional depth through forced perspective, and also allowing you to either hang this on the wall, as we usually do, or it can also stand up on its own to have a freestanding piece of art. In this creation, you will find different aspects that you see within the classic landscape art of things like Mount Fuji, the waterfall, different trees and animals, and a little tea house as well. And that sums up the Japanese cherry blossom landscape.
Yeah, I was just going to say the model designer who mainly worked on this, Adam, he couldn't be here today, so
Yes,
Martin
I'm
is,
standing in for Adam.